G'day, welcome back. A long time ago, around 2010, a much younger version of myself was at a medical conference in Chicago and they had a Tesla Roadster on display. This was very new technology at the time and I was able to sit in the car for a minute and only dream of one day driving an electric car. Here we are only 12 years later and Elon Musk has turned Tesla into a multi-billion-dollar company, as well as launching his own original Roadster into space as a test payload for his rocket company SpaceX. Today also I own a Tesla Model 3 standard performance, and my friend Colin has brought his 2010 Tesla Roadster version 2.5 out to take me for a spin. We will do an acceleration test to see how his 2010 version 2.5 Roadster stacks up against the 2021 Tesla 3 standard performance model. So fasten your seatbelts, buckle in and join us for this adventure. G'day and welcome to Steve's Tesla. This is my channel dedicated to electric vehicles and renewable energy. Subscribe now and let's drive. How's the battery holding up after 10 years?
In the 6 years I've had it, it's dropped from 264 down to 258 in terms of standard range.
Yeah.
It's got a longer range than that, but I never bother charging it there because I just never drive it that far.
There we go. So can you take me through the startup procedure? What have we got here?
All that. So yeah, basically turn it on.
Yep.
Press the reverse button. It will now go in reverse. That's all I have to do.
Well, that's extraordinary. I see it's got a classic handbrake.
It does. I've never tried using it to turn. Sure, look.
And you've got a reversing camera here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Oh well, let's go. It's very different from the Model 3 in terms of instrumentation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very much the Lotus setup. All this bit stuff here and all those bits are pretty much Lotus.
This is all Lotus. Okay, yeah.
Wow, I can't believe how quiet it is.
Yeah, no, I'm not at all impressed. G'day.
That's a nice looking car.
Yeah, I really hope that GoPro stays
Stays there, yeah.
You get a very real sense of being close to the ground. It's got some acceleration.
It does go.
Yeah. And if you can tell me while you're driving, what's this little console screen down there? What is that?
That's basically all the instrumentation is. Press various buttons and see battery temperatures and all sorts of bits and pieces.
Oh, okay. Right.
To be honest, I haven't done. I've had a bit of a play with it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But basically, it just tells me how much battery I've got left.
Okay.
Based on now, we're pretty close to full there.
Yeah, great. So what's a typical range on a full charge of batteries, Colin?
The standard charge range is, I'm getting about 260 kilometres.
Yeah.
So when I bought it 6 years ago, I was getting about 264. So it's only gone down a little tiny bit in the 6 years I've had it.
Yeah.
And it does have a longer range, which I've never actually used, but I believe it gets around 360 kilometres.
Right. So that's when you go to a 100% charge.
Yeah, 100% charge.
Yeah.
I think when they were brand new, the aim was 200 miles, which might have been 320, which may still be in that sort of range.
Yeah, okay.
This is things did change. So the version 1 of the Tesla came out with a 2-speed gearbox.
Oh, really?
And then they went to the version 2, which is the straight drive, no gears at all.
Yeah.
So this is a version 2.5. I'm not totally sure what the difference is between the 2 and 2.5. Just they got, you know what Tesla like, they're just constantly refining, making things a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit quicker than the earlier ones. I think it's got a little bit longer range. The battery pack's basically the same.
Yeah.
They only made 2,500 of them originally.
Gosh.
They had a contract with Lotus, to supply 2,500 gliders. At the end of that, Tesla had already decided to focus on the Model S.
Yep.
And I think by the end of this So this is about the last one, I think. This is 2012, and I think 2012 was the end of the run.
Okay.
And I think by Austrlaia had already produced the very first S's. So, but this is a reasonably well sorted car. The very first ones, they had all sorts of reliability problems.
Yeah.
Basically a prototype. You'll notice we feel every single bump because it is really a sports car. So I'm driving around trying to avoid the bumps wherever possible.
Yeah, it's got stiff suspension.
Yeah.
Like we're cornering now, and we're just not. There's no lean whatsoever.
No,
This is
you feel everything.
it's an absolute skateboard, as they call it.
It's a Model 3. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
The room was in my first Model S skateboard
Mm.
in Denver. They had this is before they're even making them. I think they had just the wheels and the motor and the actual battery pack flat.
Oh,
It
okay.
looked just like a skateboard.
Yeah, yeah.
This thing isn't like that. It actually has a big solid brick of a battery just behind us.
Oh, okay. So it's like a cube, a big.
It's 450 kilos. It sits there right behind the back seats.
Wow, 450 kilos. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think probably your one would be heavier, but it's a much bigger car.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there was a Tesla store in Sydney a couple of years ago. I don't know if it still is or if it's moved. It was in Marketplace, and at one time they had a chassis there, just the bare chassis, just with the batteries and the motors and wheels on it. In terms of performance, the ICE cars did. I wonder how performance companies like Lamborghini, Ferrari, those sort of manufacturers, what's going to be their differentiator in a few years' time when all electric cars are going to be fast?
Yeah.
I mean, my Tesla 3 non-performance can probably take on a basic Porsche these days and clean it up.
Yeah.
And you sort of think, well, what's going to happen to those manufacturers? How are they going to be better? They can make hypercars, they can make super fast electric cars, but I think they'll start to lose their differentiation.
Yeah, I think a Ferrari's always going to be a work of art. They're still beautiful cars.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's, I think,
So it's
really
styling,
makes
I
it
guess.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
They also have very sophisticated handling. You don't notice it just driving around normally, but
Right.
you push them a little bit more, and you can just feel that things have worked out a little bit better for them.
Yeah. A friend of mine in New Zealand's got 2 Ferraris, and I went out in a drive of their Tesla Roadster
Oh, yeah.
a few years ago now.
It's a beast, isn't it?
It was an absolute beast. I think it's a V12, might be a V10.
Yeah, V12.
Yeah, V12, and
No power steering.
no, and it
Heavy, stiff, no visibility.
it absolutely had the performance of the Tesla, but it was what do you call it? Visceral. You could just feel the car shaking and vibrating, and then roaring as it dispensed the power, and you took off at high speed. It was pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
So we're heading along Lawrence Hargrave Drive, heading towards Stanwell. Going to do a loop around, come back on the old Princes Highway. You really feel that acceleration. That's extraordinary. Wow.
Fortunately, there's someone there.
Yeah.
That's what I love about electric cars. It's just that you're always in the right gear. You come out of corners, you just launch. And there's none of that struggling to find the right gear or coming into a rev range and just suddenly taking off. It's just there all the time.
The power band is from zero all the way up. Yeah, it's just amazing, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think a lot of people who've not driven an electric car, really just sort of appreciate what they can do.
It's not just that. I had a go at had a few goes at Formula Ford at Eastern Creek.
Yeah.
And you're always in the wrong gear. And they also have these big sweeping bends where you're over the red line. You're in that soft red line limit.
Yep.
And you know you can go faster, but you don't dare change gears. You're already sliding. If you change gears, you'll spin. As simple as that. There's no way for it. So, but if you're down at, if you're up a gear, then you wouldn't be fast enough. Coming out of it, you wouldn't have got to that speed in the first place.
Yeah.
There's lots of corners, and that's why the race guys all have the gearboxes built for the racetrack.
Yep.
But these things, always in the right gear. None of it mucking around.
Yeah. Look, I quite believe it. You were telling me you had a drive on a Model S Plaid some time ago. Yeah,
that was just frighteningly fast. That was 2.7, he reckons, all to 60, and it really did feel stuck in the seats.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I believe they've got, is it like a launch thing?
It's got a launch thing, yeah.
So you put your foot on the brake and the accelerator, do you?
Yeah, and then as soon as you take off, it just goes.
Right, so you just drop the brake and it just goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Feel a bit of wind noise as you get up to, sitting on 90 kilometres an hour, is it?
Yeah, we're going up 100.
Yep. Trying to angle it so it gets your dashboard. Yeah, that's got it. That's great. When it's all completely free of traffic, if you just pull out there, stop for 1 second, make sure it's all free, and then just floor it until you get to 100, and then obviously pull in and stop. Just coming out here, no traffic in front, no traffic behind. I'm just going to floor it. 3, 2, 1, go. How'd that go?
May have got just slightly below 100.
What is it, locked?
Yeah, it does lock itself.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fantastic. I'll just give you that. Thanks. Great. All right. Oh, well, we'll just leave the camera running and head down Bullo Pass and back to Ruby's if you like. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, take off here.
Yep. Change gear, just a reminder, it's the right hand stall. So you put on the brake, down is drive, and up is reverse. And park is a little button on the end of the stalk. But I'll make sure you're comfortable before you take off.
Okay, the only thing you need to know about this is that there's a button on the key, so you need to press that in on the fob before you turn the key on.
Okay, so that's so that's just like to activate it. All right. Well, let's make sure we're both okay with it before we
everything is reverse and park and
drive. Yeah, basically just.
Which I kind of like. It's kind of obvious. So it's close to the model too.
You can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Colin's allowed me to have a drive in his Tesla Roadster, so we're going to take it down Bullo Pass. Okay, we're all set. Let's rock.
Oh.
There we go. Am I going? Yeah, I am going. Right, well, it's heavy steering. Rightio. Well, this is very, very different from the Tesla Model 3, I've got to say. The steering is very sports-like, it's quite heavy, and my bum is about 2 inches off the ground. Considering this was like the very first of the Teslas, you know?
Well, it just feels like a racing car.
Doesn't it?
Or a sports car.
Just before we have to hand this car back, we're doing the last 500 metres. This has been a joy to drive, it really has. What an extraordinary vehicle. And considering this was effectively 10-year-old technology, it's just amazing. Yeah, so you've got to use the brake, but that's all right. No problem. So park, handbrake.
It's been got some technology there.
Now we've actually got to get out. Oh, not quite so easy when you're my age. Just admiring the construction of the hinge on the door. That's just amazing. So what's it got in the way of like trunk space or a front trunk or?
Got a little space back here.
Yeah.
Should open up a bit of that.
Oh, there is space in there. Okay.
There's the roof soft top, and that's my charging kit, which is
Yeah.
the cable and the adapter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had assumed this was all just battery, but I guess that's the battery, isn't it? Basically.
That's the controller, and that's the battery there.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
So this is all electronics.
That's all the electronic PEM, that was PEM,
Amazing.
power electronics.
See you, Colin. And he's gone.